My mother and I shared a pure, unadulterated hate. She was one of the nation's top cardiac surgeons, yet she'd ignored my debilitating heart condition for 18 years. My father, to care for his sickly, fragile daughter, had sacrificed his career, his potential. HED Grove led for access to the specialized medication. I needed pills that cost thousands of dollars apiece. HED always told me my mother saw nothing, but her scalpel we didn't exist to her. I loathed her. It wasn't until a sudden accident that my mother saw my latest medical chart. She pointed at the data, her eyes terrifyingly calm. I transfer $3 million a year to your father for medical expenses. This is how HES been treating you? Ave, easy sips. Your mood seems stable today, and your heart rate is steady. My father, Dean, gently held a glass of warm water to my lips. With his other hand, he held a small, unmarked white pill bottle, shaking two tablets into his palm. These pills were pure white, no label, no markings. I had been taking them since I was small. Dad always said they were cutting my Nusej medication Mom had pulled strings to get from Europe thousands of dollars, a pill the only thing keeping my pulse stable. I obediently opened my mouth, swallowing the tablets with the water. Dad, is Aunt Carol coming over today? She is, sweetie. She made that special organic bone broth you like so much, to keep your strength up. As he spoke, he expertly pulled out the digital blood pressure monitor, checking my heart rate and blood pressure, carefully logging the numbers in a ledger. The sheer volume of those books, dozens, tightly filled, represented my entire life. My continuation archive. The doorbell rang. Aunt Carol swept in carrying a massive insulated container. She was loud and dramatic from the moment she crossed the threshold. Oh my God, Avery, you still look like a ghost. Dean, are you looking after her at all? She pushed out aside and pressed the back of her hand to my forehead. Has that woman, Eleanor, been calling to upset you again? I told you she's a curse. All she knows how to do is rake in dirty money. What else is she good for? Dad sighed, the familiar look of exhaustion and defeat clouding his face. Carol, please. She's still a very mother. Mother, she wouldn't know how. Aunt Carol's voice pitched 8 octaves higher. She barely comes home, and when she calls, what does she ask? Only if Avery is dead yet. That's all she cares about. Pooh Avery, stuck with a mother like that. And pooh are you, Dean, throwing away a brilliant career just to be here for her. Every one of Aunt Carol's words landed like a needle in my heart. I lowered my gaze to my own pale, fragile fingers. She was right. Dad should have been a high-powered, brilliant engineer. He was a promising graduate from a top university, but I was his liability, his drug-dependent patient, the reason he couldn't work. And my mother, Dr. Rive, Eleanor Roth, she simply used money to buy her absence. Cold numbers were the extent of her maternal love. Getting into college was the result of a long, brutal fight waged by my father. The whole family had opposed it, terrified I would literally die on campus. But Dad insisted I can't let this child live a life full of regret. In the end, he won, personally driving me through the university gates. On the very first day, the counselor received a massive stack of my medical records and specifically instructed the whole class to be cautious and accommodating with me. I was exempt from physical education, couldn't join any clubs that required activity, and certainly couldn't live in the collective dorms. Dad rented an apartment right off my campus. He drove me everywhere, made all my meals, and supervised every single pill I took.